Welcome back to CryptoByte, everybody. As usual, we've got quite a lot to cover and we've got the latest and hottest news of the day today, and we're going to be sharing that with you. So let's dive straight into it. Okay, great news for DeFi. Today, during the World of DeFi Summit, Binance founder and CEO has introduced a $100 million support fund for DeFi projects on the Binance Smart Chain. And if you guys are wondering how to benefit from the $100 million fund, they're soon gonna call DeFi projects to submit their proposals to be one of the beneficiaries of this fund, and strong projects can get up to $100,000 in funding. Wow guys, $100,000 in funding is quite a lot for a startup and can get you there where you actually want to be. It's quite a hefty fund. And beside the $100 million fund, what the Binance Smart Chain is actually trying to do, it's trying to bridge various blockchains such as DeFi and CeFi in many other ways through the Token Canal project. Okay, so they've got a project right now that's called the Token Canal project, and they're working with the Binance Smart Chain community to help developers connect the Binance Smart Chain with other public chains, which will allow you to move different public chains such as Bitcoin, Ether, any ERC20 tokens, even XRP, Bitcoin Cash, anything you can think of on the public chain can be connected and interoperable now. So Binance Smart Chain is something that I am looking for the future for mainstream adoption. And it's going to be a one-click transfer of assets between different network tokens. Users can also simply and quickly transfer token assets into the Binance Smart Chain. So we see Binance always coming out with great news, and I'm looking forward to it. Alright, moving to the next article, we got tech stocks bleeding out 5 full Bitcoin networks worth of value in 3 days. That's 5 Bitcoins network worth in 3 days only. And if you think the amount of money lost during Bitcoin's $2,000 plunge last week was a lot, it was barely a blip compared to the $1 trillion market cap lost among the top 6 tech stocks this week. We know that Bitcoin had been the best performing Main Street asset this year, even beating out top stocks like Amazon, Microsoft, Alphabet, Facebook, Alibaba and Apple. And if you guys are wondering what Alphabet is, it's basically Google. And we've had many times analysts pointing out that these companies are way overvalued, and they have even further ballooned themselves starting off the pandemic. Now, I want you to think about that. If you think that a $2,000 drop in Bitcoin might be frightening, it's only about $30 billion in the market cap, alright? But when it comes to total value destroyed, and this is very important, the total value destroyed just show how big those stocks are compared to Bitcoin, and it shows how small the cryptocurrency is by scope. Now, I want to show you guys how those giant tech stocks highlight that Bitcoin could reach a $1 trillion market cap very easily. Now you have to think to yourself, and I want you to comment down below as well and share your opinion, if over $1 trillion in value can disappear into thin air just in 3 days due to falling tech stocks, why can Bitcoin market cap not reach $1 trillion or even higher? What do you think about that? Leave the comments down below. Now, in other perspective, if Bitcoin actually had only a $1 trillion market cap, it would bring the price of Bitcoin at around $50,000, which is around 8 times more than currently. But the only issue here is that Bitcoin's low market cap currently tells investors it's not yet taken as seriously as stocks or gold, but it could be a faster racehorse in the race against inflation. Now we know that the gold market cap is around $11 trillion, probably higher than that, and it just shows and proves that Bitcoin is actually a better designed store of value than the precious metal itself, and all of the gold flowing into Bitcoin is very unlikely. We don't really assume that, but at the market cap of that size itself, it would actually put Bitcoin at $500,000, guys. Let that sink in. $500,000 in Bitcoin if it's just the same market cap as gold. And the stock market total assets are valued at over $89 trillion actually, which would represent it to be 0.2% in the share. Now, I wanted to share this, guys, with you, comparing the words money and markets, okay? So now we are going to compare Bitcoin and show you how small it is actually. Each square is around worth $100 billion. So we have silver here, yeah, at $43 billion, not even one little square. We have Bitcoin being 1.5 squares, and we have the other 5,000 whatever coins being almost another square also, totaling at $244 billion in market cap. Now we've got military spending itself. Look how big it is, just in 1 year. And then what's even bigger is the Fed's balance sheet at $7 trillion. We've got the billionaires itself, just the 5 rich people. How many of those can you see compared to Bitcoin? How small is Bitcoin compared to 5 billionaires only? Now moving to gold. We've got gold at a total of 11 trillion, probably higher because we've got below ground reserves also. Moving to Fortune 500. Okay, I've got a question here, and leave your answer in comments below. Do you think that Bitcoin cannot surpass Facebook's market cap? If it does so, it would have to double and if not triple. Can it not be bigger than Alphabet, Google, Amazon, Apple or Microsoft? I do believe that in the next decade, Bitcoin can actually have a market cap bigger than the Fortune 500 combined. And if you look at that, that would give Bitcoin a probably 20 to 50x, making it more than $500,000 itself. So the future is very bright for Bitcoin here. Okay, quickly going through the next ones, we've got stock market even being bigger. We've got the money supply being huge, M1, and we've got M2, and we've got the global debt itself. Huge, guys. Households. How many squares? Amazing. How small Bitcoin is actually compared to those. Global debt and all kinds of sorts of things. I mean, how tiny is Bitcoin? Moving on, we've got global real estate. Huge. We've got global wealth even being bigger. And then moving on, we've got derivatives. Derivatives is basically a contract between two parties or more parties that you own something. So it could be bonds, it could be money, it could be anything. It's just a contract that you own something to someone basically. And if you're looking at that, look how big derivatives is. The derivative market. I mean, I'm scrolling down and it's just not stopping. And Bitcoin is not even 2 out of those squares. So question yourself, can Bitcoin not actually get 5 times bigger, 10 times bigger, 20 times bigger? The sky's the limit here. And let's move to the next article. Or a very important one, guys. The IRS is doubling down, investing another $250,000 into tracking crypto transactions. A new analytics firm scores a major contract with the US tax agency. And if you guys are wondering which firms are behind those contracts, it is blockchain analytics and tax software, who are actually small faces in the industry, and they only had one contract before which was worth less than $10,000 with the US Treasury for serving as an expert witness. And the next contract is a $250,000 contract with the IRS. Huge. We know that last week itself, IRS put out a request for submissions for a pilot program to track cryptocurrency transactions, and a staff member at the IRS confirmed that this new contract is not a response to that request, meaning that the request previously for a pilot program to track cryptocurrency transactions is still in place, and this $250,000 contract is on top of that. So we can see that the IRS is actually investing a lot of money to make sure that people do pay their tax on cryptocurrency transactions. And this year tax forms in the US will put the question of whether a taxpayer used crypto in 2020 front and center. So showing you the tax forms here, you can very clearly see that before any questions, so you've got your name here, your social security number, and before any other questions, before the parts even start as usual, you have one question here that you can only answer yes or no. And the question is, at any time during 2019, did you receive, sell, send, exchange, or otherwise acquire any financial interest in any virtual currencies, which they mean cryptocurrency at that point? So if you have received, sell, send, exchange, you will have to say yes. And I'm sure they're going to ask you lots of questions. I don't live in America, so I have no idea. I'm in the UK actually, where our tax forms will be done by January to March. So we've got another couple months to do so, but the IRS is stepping down. So guys, make sure that your taxes are sorted out. Okay, we've got a Twitter comment by Reuters that I wanted to share with you lot. And it's Twitter CEO Jack telling Reuters that Bitcoin is still the most viable internet native currency. And I'm going to drop the link below of this Twitter if you guys want to watch the video. It's a 2-minute video, but I think it was actually amazing words said by the Twitter CEO itself. And mainstream is coming. I can only see mainstream adoption coming closer and closer. So going to the next article, we've got Switzerland, which we know is a crypto-friendly country, becoming the first major financial center with a full set of laws to govern blockchain commerce. And this was actually done today. So we're bringing you guys the hottest and latest news on a daily basis. And if you like what you do, please support us. Share this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and make sure to hit the bells button, because as I've shown you guys, this is time sensitive information day by day and you don't want to miss out. So let's move on to the article. Switzerland has passed wide-ranging legislation opening the door to cryptocurrencies and DeFi, enabling companies to create digital shares as well as range of other tradable assets. This is very nice news today. I was very excited to read this article because we know Switzerland is a major big hub when it comes to financial industries, and that they've actually accepted blockchain and allowed different companies to actually set up their projects. That is great news. That is very great news. And it's called the Blockchain Act, okay? It's called the Blockchain Act and it's expected to come into force early next year, and it's welcoming cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies into the mainstream. Very exciting, guys. So this was it for the video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as usual, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.